With no further ado, here we go. So, once upon a time, we had a plague. Okay, it's never easy to have a plague, especially if you don't have Netflix. Um, but regardless, it is important to say that every crisis is an economic crisis. It might not be the, only a financial economic crisis, but there's always this aspect of it. So also here we have Her Majesty Treasury, okay, the Exchequer, called gets its name for obvious reason. You can see the checker-like board. Okay, this is dates to the early 12th century. It's a kind of an old establishment. So the Exchequer is trying to mitigate the crisis application. So he is, or the establishment, focus on the spine of the economy. The spine of the economy are the SMEs. Here they are. Okay, you see quite a few of them here. Okay, you have a blacksmith, a winemaker, blacksmith. Here is a baker, I think, and another thing. I'm not sure what this guy is doing. Maybe you know. These are the SMEs. This is the spine of the economy. And to do that, the Exchequer is putting aside 330 billion pounds. This is a real number. Also put into place mainly three loan schemes. Okay, so you have the bounce back loan scheme. We have the Corona business interruption loan scheme, and we have the Corona large business interruption loan scheme. So choose your favorite. In order to do that, you need to somehow execute the plan, and the execution is done by the banks. Here they are. Now, there are currently 101 accredited lenders, not only banks, by the way, but mainly even a few digital banks, which were not that popular during medieval time, but are gaining traction. So it's a point for optimism, maybe, I think. Uh, just over 1 million loans approved to this point. And just put, again, numbers into perspective, there are about 6 million businesses in the UK, okay, so for reference. And again, so far, cumulatively, 45 billion pounds approved. Now, one may see it as a failure, one may see it as a success. I am not going to delve into this question, definitely an achievement. Regardless, what I do see here is a gap. And in order to understand the gap, we must understand the bank. So here is the bank. And the bank, from the one hand, he had the Exchequer, has the government, okay? And he has the SMEs, okay, or the customers, okay, the people. So he has legal obligation. He's putting into practice the policy of the government. He is the bridge between the government and the people. So he has a legal obligation, he has moral obligation, one would say. And this is from the one hand. On the other hand, this is from Bloomberg, revenue may drop 40% once the cost of risk is included as loans sour. Okay, this is about the how hard it is to assess the risk when doing things in such capacities. So on the one hand, we have the government and the SMEs. On the other hand, we have the bank as a unique, a separate entity, an independent entity that must be economically viable, economically profitable. So these are actually this is the duality of this is the double challenge, okay, being a main solution provider from the one hand and being a kind of unique business entity by itself for that. So the challenges of being an enterprise are known, okay, there's nothing new here, okay, so we have channels, client, supplier, employees. These are digital channels if you are a 21st century kind of guy or girl, I'm assuming you are. So digital channels are extremely important and definitely are key. So I'm going to put this More than 1 in 5 customers tried online banking for the first time. And before delving into detail, I want to emphasize something. When we're talking about channels, digital channels, we are not talking about, or not only talking about communication channels. These are operational channels. I don't just want to talk with the client. It's not a call center issue. It's an operational thing. I want him to do things. I want him to act. I want him to onboard. I want to do KYC. I want to do AML. I want to do risk assessment for a loan. I want to do many, many things. So this is not a communication element. It is an operational thing. Now, when we talking about 1 in 5 customer doing digital banking for the first time, this is a major operational constraint on the bank infrastructure. Okay, it's a serious constraint. Not to mention the access work, that access activity that regular users that use digital bank day to day are doing. So this is a serious constraint. Again, a good place to emphasize the double challenge. Okay, the bank must give these people service, serve more clients faster, and do that under all the operational challenges that every other enterprise is facing, doing that on the fly. So on top of that, maybe it's a good time to emphasize something we didn't talk yet, but put on that maybe one of the most critical elements when we're talking about financial services, and this is security. Okay, there is no finance without security, and there is no fintech without cybersecurity. Okay, so fighting the bad guys, okay, defending the castle, it is a defense game, so this is a critical point. So, by the way, can you guess what is the monster that's attacking this brave knight and the maiden? Sterny, can we maybe open the chat for a few seconds? People have guesses of the creature. Let's give it 10 seconds. Like, shoot from the top of your head, any monster that comes to mind might be attacking the brave knight.
Yeah, I guess dragon as well.
Okay, yeah, dragon is the obvious answer. It's not the correct one. You would have guessed.
Troll.
Okay, we don't have. All right, so I'll tell you what it is. It is a giant snail. Okay. Yeah, in medieval times, it's a thing, knights and giant snail. Look it up at Google. You find hilarious, authentic things. It's kind of funny, kind of cool. So he is fighting a giant snails. Unlike CISOs, okay, information security officer are fighting pretty much anything but snails. Okay, it's a very, very, very fast game, evolving constantly. 70% of UK FIs, financial institutions, suffered a cybersecurity incident in the past 12 months. Now, let that sink in for a second, and rest assured that this number only going to be like bigger and bigger. Okay, we all know that financial institutions are of the most, I think, the most lucrative target for hacktivists, for criminal groups, also state level criminal groups. So definitely this number is going to grow. Already, by the way, the FCA, Financial Conduct Authority, the UK, they published an announcement that a full-scale assault on the entire financial system of the UK is only a matter of time, just a matter of time. So, yeah, if it helps you in any way to feel easier and sleep at night more confidently, so enjoy. Anyway, 43% caused by employee failure. It's another stat. It is a very, very weak link in the chain, which is noticed both by the hackers, criminals, and also by, obviously, the information security officers. Definitely a weak link, even more so under COVID. Okay, so you have remote working is really emphasized. And again, emphasizing again, this is not about communication, only communication channel. This is an operational channel. So employees have to, not just to talk to each other, they are dealing with sensitive information. They are authorizing sensitive information. There is DevOps going on. So there's a lot going on, which is really, really critical. And banks and other enterprises not always know how to deal with it, not 100% ready to deal with it in such a scale. One more thing to the supplier side, more than a dozen major banking players are reporting that their online foreign currency system are down following the New Year's Eve ransomware attack on Travelex. That was widespread in the news. Happened just last year, I think November or December 2019. Now, the thing is, first Travelex did pay the ransom, by the way, £2 million in Bitcoins, I think. Now, more than a dozen major banking players, okay, these are tier one banks reporting online foreign currency system. This specific operation was shut off for quite some time. And the attack wasn't even on their own servers, okay? It was on a third party, on a supplier, so another weak link. And by the way, just to echo what I just said about the employees, the attack on Travelex was through the VPN, okay, of the employees. So just kind of putting it all together. Now, this is the end slide, the last slide, okay? So I'm pretty sure that maybe excluding the snail night, excluding that, most of you know, I think, everything. There's no paragraph here that's really kind of surprising anyone. I'm pretty confident in that. But it is important because we didn't speak yet about innovation, but this is the innovation slide, okay? Here lies, this is the map of the pain point, of the needs of any organization, and definitely for banks that were present even prior COVID, but definitely enhanced by it. So the digital channel, so the infrastructure, security, all that is present. I will add that if you are a startup, try to address banks, know that banks currently are, on the one hand, very hungry. They know in order to scale and to kind of operate all everything we just talked about, they need technology. So they are looking for solutions. Having said that, echoing the beginning of the presentation, they have a double challenge, okay? So they are trying to do everything on the fly. So they are wary, okay? So put those two challenges in mind and you have a go. One last thing I will emphasize, again, echoing the beginning of the presentation, is SMEs, which is a unique and very important issue addressed by the banks, and also like off topic, by the government. We now have a program for startups that are addressing specifically SMEs challenges, so that as well. And with this everything in mind, this is pretty much it. So yeah, thank you.